Hello, this is Mario Cameras, and welcome to this tutorial. First of all, I want to thank Chaos Group for giving me the chance to share with you my work. This tutorial is about how I made the underwater scene for the video The Devil is in the Detail. If you want to see the video or the post that Chaos Group made shared in their blog, I will put the link below. This is the shot I want to show you in this tutorial. As you can see, it has fog and caustics, and I want to show you how you can do this very easy with V-Ray CPU, because people usually think that fog effects and caustics are very slow to calculate, and especially for animations where you have to calculate hundreds of shots. So in this case, I want to show you first of all the scene. This is the whole scene I used it for that shot. As you can see, here is the geometry for the pool, and here's the water. This is the water. It has animated displacement, and it's only 5 lights and 6 lights, and this one is a rim light. Okay, I'm going to show you here that I'm using 2 lights here because I like the reflections caused by this sphere light over here. As you can see, it is invisible. It doesn't cast shadows or affect diffuse or specular. It only affects reflections, because I like most the result with this sphere lights. And the lighting system is created with this V-Ray light in type disc with some directionality, and this light is the one that illuminates the scene, but it doesn't affect reflections. So that is the only variation to very standard illumination system. So let me show you the scene, but first of all I want to show you how easy it is to do it with V-Ray and the default settings. I'm going to choose Scanlight Renderer to reset. Now I'm going to choose again V-Ray Next. This is the CPU. For this tutorial, I'm going to work with 1000 pixels to make it faster. And I don't have to move anything in these tabs. I'm going to change only this for bucket. I'm going to decrease this number to 8. I'm going to increase this one noise threshold to 0.07 and to decrease the bucket size to 18. And I'm going to turn off the image filter, and that's all for now. I'm going to work just for speed up this tutorial with one slave with distributed rendering. And let me show you the first frame 0, and this is how it looks, the RGB. Single mode. Okay, so here's the first tip for this animation, and as you can see, I'm working with global illumination. I'm going to save this image here, and as you can see, this scene doesn't have a big size, and you know that global illumination, it's about bounces, the bounces of the light. So for this small scene, the camera is over here and it moves forward like this. and the bounces are not needed too much for the scene, because almost every face of this pool is being illuminated with direct illumination from a light on the other side. And this rim light is a bluish light to give a special mood, but it's direct light, it's almost pointed at the camera. So I'm going to show you that not every time GI is needed. Here's the scene without GI. Let's compare it. It's 10 seconds. It took 10 seconds, and this one took 16 seconds. And the one that has GI has more noise, and this one is cleaner. The bluish color you see in the image with global illumination is caused by the bounces of the light coming from this rim light, but it's not that essential. So you can fake this with some post-production like color correction, and you will have almost the same result. Nobody will notice the lack of global illumination here. So I'm going to work without global illumination, and this can be my RGB. So let's save this like RGB, OpenEXR. And another effect I'm going to use here is the bloom effect. So I'm going to add it. It's too strong. 7 and 0.1 cold and 0.5. So for animations, it's more easy if you have a special element with this glare effect. So I'm going to change this to render element only. So now I have the RGB, and here I have a special path that is called glare, and I can blend it in post-productions with more freedom. Let's do it. I'm going to begin my composition, and let's add the glare effect. This is the RGB, this is the blended path. I'm going to blend it with screen mode. You can control here the blend amount, and as you can see, you can change it with more freedom here. Okay, so here's the next step. I'm going to turn off this. I won't need the glare. And now let's move to the fog effect. I'm going to turn off this V-Ray environment fog. These are the settings I used in the original video. This is a bluish fog color and 20 meters. And the next thing I'm going to use is these tools that V-Ray give us, and they are very, very useful to speed up the things like fog. So I'm going to use a gizmo. As you know, gizmos are containers. You can find them here in Create Atmospheric Apparatus, and then you find this box gizmo. This is the one I used in the video. It is just covering the pool and the water, so the fog will be just inside this gizmo. I don't want to calculate the fog outside of this box, because it will take much more time, and I don't need the calculation outside of the water. So here's the first tip. I add this to these gizmos, and now I'm going to explain you the lights. here are the filter of lights. This filter helps us to choose only which lights are going to affect the fog. So I don't need these sphere lights for the calculation because they are only working for the reflections, as I told you before. I will choose only the lights inside the crystals, the glass of the lightings, and I will choose only 5 lights because I don't want this one here that is behind the camera. I don't want to calculate the fog behind the camera because it won't be a pressure. You won't see it in the final animation, and it will be more slow to calculate another light. So these 5 lights are just these 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So I'm going to show you right now how it looks, but first of all, always when I work with V-Ray environment fog, I use this element called V-Ray atmosphere, because now you can have the special element with only the atmosphere, and you can blend it in post-production with freedom again. Here you can see, here's the pass. It is very fast to calculate, and now we are moving to solve the noise. Let it finish. Okay, this is the pass, and as you can see, it has some noise here. And here comes the next trick. For this, I'm going to use the V-Ray denoiser. Let's move to the V-Ray atmosphere and check this box. And in the denoiser, let's do the render again. We're going to denoise this element. Obviously, the RGB color will be denoised too, but we don't have to take care of this pass, of this RGB color anymore because we already have it. So let's focus only on the V-Ray atmosphere pass. Okay, let's save this element. And now, as you can see, here are some artifacts around the lines, or you can see here some artifacts. So I tried to use the NVIDIA AI denoiser, and I found that with V-Ray Next, the NVIDIA AI denoiser in most cases cleans better the noise than the V-Ray default denoiser. Let's wait and see it by yourself. There you have it. So let's compare it. On the left side is the V-Ray denoiser, on the right side is the NVIDIA AI denoiser, and you see the difference. V-Ray, NVIDIA. The artifacts are gone. So I used the NVIDIA AI denoiser to render the animation. So now I'm going to save this pass as fog, and let's add it to our composition. this is without fog, and this is going to be with fog. It looks right. Okay, so here it is. You can see the new image with fog, and here's a trick. You can put a color correction here and play with the levels, you know, to dark some areas of the only of the fog channel, and we can move these levels here to make it look stronger. So you can see the color correction improvements to make it look more dirty. I don't know, it looks good. And here you have it, without fog and with fog. Okay, and now let's move to the next thing. It's that are the caustics. That's all with the fog. It was very easy. I think you notice that it's very easy to calculate the fog. And now let's go to the caustics. For the caustics, I will use the same settings I have here, but all I have to do is to turn on this, and now I'm going to turn off every light in my scene, and let's show you this special trick. Let's turn off the fog too. We have nothing here. Okay, and now let's do this. This small light is a V-Ray light. I'm going to turn it on in disc mode. It's a very tiny light. It only has 5 millimeters in its radius, and it obviously has to be powerful to light the scene up. And this light is going to create the caustics for the scene. It has to be small because now with this size the caustics will be more sharp and will be and it's only one light, so it will be very fast to calculate. Let's show you how this looks. And that's all. It only took 5 seconds. I'm going to turn off distributed rendering to show you how fast it is. And there you have it. You have these caustics. You can work with them in post-production with the V-Ray caustics element. So if you calculate it, you see this. And that's all. I'm going to show you in a real animation how fast it is for each frame. We have one frame here, the second frame, and third frame, and every frame is taking just 4 seconds. Okay, it is very fast. So let's move back to the frame, to the initial frame, and let's save this. And load it here. Let's blend it in screen mode. And we can do the same. Let's add this color correction and play with the levels. there you have it. The next thing you have to do is to apply your color grading and LUTs or whatever you want to do to make it look like, well, to have the final look. This is the animation of the caustics. And as you see, it only took 4 seconds to render each frame with this technique of the small light. And there you have it, the final shot. I hope you like this tutorial. I hope you can practice, and thank you for watching.